Welcome back to 1600. There's a great tradition here in Washington of presidential farewells, the chance for President to finally catch his breath, reflect, and remind the nation of his accomplishments.
My friends, we did it. We weren't just marking time. We made a difference. We made the city stronger. We made the city freer. And we left her in good hands. All in all, not bad. Not bad at all.
America has been a force for peace and prosperity in every corner of the globe. I'm very grateful to be able to turn over the reins of leadership to a new president, with America in such a strong position to meet the challenges of the future.
And last night, it was President Bush's turn.
Like all who have held this office before me, I have experienced setbacks. And there are things I would do differently if given the chance. Yet I've always acted with the best interests of our country in mind. I have followed my conscience and done what I thought was right. You may not agree with some of the tough decisions I have made, but I hope you can agree that I was willing to make the tough decisions.
Critics argue that is an awfully low standard, and our Muckraker of the day has gone a step further. He writes of President Bush, "Finally, his reign is coming to an end. He looked haggard and old after never fulfilling his promise of 8 years of compassion. Instead, we got corruption, cronyism, unaccountability, wars, lies, torture, and a virus that has infected the entire government that leads us." Joining us now, John Amato, our Muckraker of the day, and the man behind one of the most influential progressive blogs around, crooksandliars.com. John, some people thought, you know what, let's just ignore President Bush. Why did you think it was important to weigh in and also in that sort of tone?
Hey, David, it's great to be with you. You know, it's important because this is his farewell speech, and you have to listen to what the president says. I mean, this has been the most incredibly destructive presidency probably in the history of our nation. And what it's shown is a repudiation of the movement conservatism that was started by Reagan. When you look, I mean, the stock market, you know, he came in and it's like thousands of points lower. So it was important to see what his parting words were. What it really was is like General Custer's last stand of propaganda to try to say, you know, I was there and I actually made the big decisions. But that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to make decisions. But just look at the results. Look at what Obama has inherited. And I'd say, David, that again, what America has done now is repudiated conservatism in its entirety.
John, many progressives called for all the criticism of President Bush. They did say that his speech last night was at least gracious to Barack Obama. Would you agree with that?
Yes, in one sense he was. He said, you know, he met him and he's a nice guy. But then, you know, he throws that caveat in there about 9/11 and about warnings and about, you know, he better not, like, turn his back because we're going to get hit again. And so, you know, I always sense that there's this 9/11, you know, he's trying to protect his legacy by saying that we didn't get hit again, by almost kind of ignoring that we were hit and setting up a fact with Obama that, you know, you better not turn your back. And that just is really upsetting to me, because if you notice on a lot of the right-wing sites and some of the other networks, they're constantly bringing up that since Obama's coming in and he has stated that he is against torture, by the way, another legacy that Bush has given us, torture, American torture, that somehow we're going to be less safe. So I didn't think he was that gracious.
John Amato from crooksandliars.com. And John, your site, all of us in the business consider your site perhaps the best place on the net to catch up on what's happening on our channel and some of the rest. And congratulations on your success. Thanks for coming on. And one of these days you have to tell us a secret to getting all the traffic that you get. John Amato from crooksandliars.com. Good to see you.
Same here.
And that is the view from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.